Welcome to Reddit After Hours. This is r/Trueoffmychest, where OP finds out that his mother is actually his sister. Our first Reddit post comes from Froggy Spirit, titled, "My husband is eating more and it makes me want to cry." I am just so overwhelmed right now, and I've honestly been overwhelmed nearly every day for the past 3 weeks. Things were really bad for a really long time. Since I met my husband almost a decade ago, we've been poor in some form or another. Sometimes we were living paycheck to paycheck, and to us, that was glamorous. Other times, like for the last year and a half, we were slowly leeching money, inching towards homelessness. It was just an unfortunate mix of low paying jobs, emergencies that drained our funds just when we were starting to get ahead, and a really low support system. And throughout it all, my husband has been my rock. He's my best friend, my shoulder to lean on, my light. And despite how much he's tried to hide it, I know how hard all of this has been hitting him. The thing that kills me is that he barely eats. Part of it is just constant fear and anxiety that steals his appetite, and the other part is unmediated ADHD that makes food practically invisible to him. He's already so lean too, and I can see how much it just saps what little energy that he has. Then I got this job, a career stable position that pays me far more than both of us have ever made combined. We picked up everything and moved to a nice neighborhood in a high cost of living area, and we're still comfortable. Now, I'm not rich by any means, but my God, I have never had this kind of money before. And I can see what it's doing to my husband too. In just under a month, I have seen him transform into someone that I've never seen before. He has so much energy. The house is filled with his laughter more often than not, and he actually eats. He eats so much now. He scarfs down full dinners with whole foods. I catch him snacking all throughout the day, and he actually eats breakfast now too. He just came in the room and did a little goofy flex saying how strong his body feels, and he even thinks that he's developing some muscles too. And it was such a small moment, but now I'm sitting here with a tightness in my chest and the threat of tears in my eyes. I'm so happy that my husband is just finally eating. OP, I'm happy for you guys. It's not very often that we actually get to read like a genuine positive story on here, so kudos to you, OP. I'm so happy for you guys. Our next Reddit post comes from Remarkable Soup 3069, titled, "My mother-in-law stole my spot in my family vacation, and I'm secretly pretty happy about it." So for this story, we're going to use a lot of fake names as this is a throwaway account. So I, a 38-year-old male, have been planning a summer vacation to Disney World and Universal with my wife, who we'll call Peach, and my sons, who we'll call Toad and DK. We also have a 1-year-old baby girl called Star, but throughout the entire planning process, the plan has always been to have my wife's mom, who we'll call Daisy, watch Star and our dog at our house because she's still an infant and we didn't want to risk an infant getting sick or hurt while traveling. Daisy has always been fine with this plan and spoke about how happy she was to do this. A week ago, though, my wife asked me if we could change our plans around to have Daisy join us. This means changing our room reservation and going for an Airbnb so we all have space to be together, and getting her mom a ticket for the parks and the plane. I asked what happened to our original plan, and she said that her mom really thought it would be more enjoyable trip if we went as a group, she and Star included. I asked who would watch our house and dog, and she said that we could drop our dog off at a friend's house for the duration of our vacation. I said that I just didn't want to inconvenience our friend like that, and Peach said, "Well, I can't tell my mom to stay home after hyping up the trip so much." So, after talking about it for a few days and not coming up with a reasonable solution, I said that Daisy could take my spot and that I would stay home with Star. My wife protested, but I said that the only way her mom would be able to go that allowed Star to stay home with family, because my family lives too far away and can't come, is for Peach and Daisy to both go. Peach and Daisy both tried to convince me to change the plan so that we could all go, but I brought up how much more expensive that would be, and that the overall point of all of this was because that we didn't want the baby to travel yet. I told them that this was the only way. Daisy would just take my spot and they would have a vacation with the boys. My sons were pretty sad for me that I won't be going. Toad spoke about it with a bit of pity in his voice, and I told him that I hope he has a blast, although I don't know if he'll really get it until he's leaving for the trip and I'm not with him. Now, here's the thing. I'm the only person who has ever been to an amusement park, as I went to Universal with friends in my 20s. Peach, Daisy, and our boys have not. I know that being at an amusement park is not all sunshine and happiness. It's a lot of walking and a lot of waiting in lines and a lot of mediocre, expensive food. If you're lucky, you'll get on 3 rides in an 8-hour day. I was mentally prepared for this, and everyone else, however, has the idealized version of Disney World in their heads where they're going to eat a bunch of fun snacks, ride all the rides all day, and take clear pictures in front of characters with no other tourists around. Hell, obviously, I was excited to see Super Nintendo World myself. I'm just more realistic about the overall experience. Daisy can barely walk around Walmart one time, so I don't know how she expects to walk around the park. I remember overall taking something like 20,000 steps and going about 12 miles there during one day. So instead of dealing with all the BS at the airport and the long lines in the sun, I'll be hanging out at home with the week off from work with my baby girl, and I'm pretty pumped thinking about it actually. I never have extended time with my daughter, and I know I won't be on, quote, vacation in the traditional sense, but I feel like it'll be good for my mental health to just sit outside with my dog and my baby just hanging out. Like, I'm very much looking forward to a week of dad and star time. I will absolutely miss my family and still will miss them this morning, but Peach was asking me if I was sure about staying and that there's twigs of FOMO about it here and there. But honestly, I really think that this is what's best for the both of us. OP, it sounds like you actually lucked out here. Congrats on the new daughter, by the way. But yeah, I mean, if I were you, I would absolutely take a week of bonding with my new infant over going to a hot, sweaty, dirty amusement park any day. And not to say that Disney World's dirty, but I mean, there's just a bunch of people around. It's always crowded. Sounds like you really went out there, OP. I hope you have a wonderful vacation. Our next Reddit post comes from Less Appointment 828, titled, I just found out who my real dad is and I feel disgusting. So I, a 27-year-old male, was fully aware that my mom, who's 43 now, came from a bad home where her parents were not good to her, and when she got pregnant at 16, she moved in with my dad, who was 43 now, and his family. I grew up in a really loving house with both my parents and my paternal grandparents and eventually my younger sister. I only met my mother's parents a few times and I didn't know them on any level. I moved out at 18 and I moved back to my hometown after with my boyfriend, and life is as settled as it gets. Last month, my sister got diagnosed with acute liver failure and is in need of a transplant. We all got tested and my dad was luckily a match. Something weird though about my results were that my blood type was different to that of my parents and my sister. I know that this is not possible, so I asked my mother, and I've seen pictures of her pregnant at 16, so I know that I'm not adopted. I'd assumed that maybe she cheated on my dad and led him on, and honestly, now I really wish that was the case. She sat me down with my dad and explained that my biological father is actually my maternal grandfather. I never knew the specifics of what happened to my mom because she never wanted to talk about it. She said that both he and my dad knew that there was a chance that I could be his, but clung to the idea that I was my dad's. Now, whenever I see myself in the mirror, I feel like my insides just curl up. I feel sick, like I want to peel off my own skin. I also feel disgusting whenever my boyfriend touches me. I shouldn't be here. People like me just shouldn't exist. I've not had the heart to tell him because how do I wrap my own head around this, let alone tell anybody else? And even if I wanted to, how do I casually say, hey, guess what? Turns out that my mom is also my sister. My parents made me promise not to tell my sister, as she has enough going on as it is. I also feel so stupid because I always knew that I favored my mom in terms of my appearance, but I genuinely thought that I saw pieces of my dad in me also, only I guess it wasn't my dad. My parents keep saying that this changes nothing, but both of them and I know that this changes everything. I wish this was fake, as I know those comments are coming and I don't blame those for thinking this, but this is my life now and I have to learn to accept who/what I really am, and also how to tell my boyfriend because he deserves to know this. When I thought that my mom cheated and let on my dad, I was so angry, but now I would give anything and everything for that to be the case. OP, all I can say is that I'm sorry that you had to find that out, and that's horrible. But, you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. You should exist. You are special no matter what happened, and try to at least try to give your mom some grace, man, because I'm sure whatever happened to her, if you catch my drift, I guarantee it wasn't her choice. So try to give her some grace. I'm sure that she's going through just as much, if not even more, than you are with this whole thing. So, yeah, that's a tough one, OP. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Our next Reddit post comes from Professional Aware 782, titled, "My boyfriend got mad when I said that I would only have a threesome if it was with another guy." So, me and my boyfriend got into an argument recently. He mentioned threesomes kinda randomly, and while it seemed like he was joking at first, he must have been serious, but I did give him a real answer, and I don't think that he liked it. I told him that if I were to ever have a threesome, the only way that I'd be okay with it is if the third person was another guy. As soon as I said that, his mood completely changed. He got defensive and asked, "What do you mean? Wouldn't it be more comfortable if it was another girl?" And other things along those lines. I told him that no, it wouldn't, because I'm not attracted to women. A threesome with another girl wouldn't do anything for me, which it wouldn't, and honestly, it would just feel weird. He started getting agitated and gave me this whole argument about how, quote, two guys and one girl isn't the same, and that it's not a threesome at that point, it's a train. He said that most guys would be not comfortable being intimate in the same place with another man, especially not while sharing a woman, because it's like a masculinity slash pride slash territory type thing, at least according to him. He also mentioned that for most couples, threesomes are usually two girls and one guy because it's more normalized and less threatening to the relationship, whatever that was supposed to mean. Honestly, this whole thing has kind of left me feeling weird. Like, why is it only okay if it's another girl? That just sounds like he wants to sleep with another woman, but with permission. I couldn't help but think, though, do you already have someone in mind? Why is this even on your mind in the first place? It just felt like a really one-sided affair, and it honestly kind of felt unfair. I'm not saying that I even want to have a threesome. I don't think I do, but the double standard just really rubbed me the wrong way. Honestly, OP, it's that one for me. I'm not saying that this is true of everyone, right? But usually when guys suggest something like that, usually, at least from the Reddit stories that I've read, they kind of already have someone in mind. Like they've already been emotionally, maybe cheating with someone else or maybe physically, and now they're looking for permission. But, who knows? Maybe he could just be wanting an open relationship or something like that, right? But, I mean, you're right. The double standard is very glaring, right? So, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's your life and your boyfriend, and if you think that that double standard is something that you can't get past, I mean, it's totally up to you where you go from there, right? But I would be very suspicious of how the idea got into his head and who he might pick if you were to say yes, and if you would be really quick to tell you who that person would be. So, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it too much. Let me know down in the comments what you think, but, at least from the stories that I've read, that's kind of, where my brain went to also. That was Reddit After Hours, bringing you r/Trueoffmychest. Thank you all so much for listening, and if you like these stories, like and subscribe as we post a new Reddit video almost every single day.